Great.
Welcome to AwesomeCon. Awesome. So let's kick it off.
Who was awesome? Harper was awesome.
Yeah. Harper was awesome. Great, Harper.
It was fantastic.
We are going to be taking fan questions, so I see people already lined up. But before we do that, the first question is for all three of you. Now, Blue's Clues has touched so many lives over the years. What's it like being part of a show that helps shape generations across multiple generations?
The coolest part about it for me is that I used to watch the show with my younger sister, and I would watch Steve. When my cousin was born, she and my sister would watch Joe. Now that I'm doing the show, I have two nieces and a nephew, and they're watching my show. So as far as like spanning generations, that is the craziest and the coolest thing I've ever been a part of, and to this day is my favorite job I've ever had.
Steve, in 2021, your video message became an instant classic cultural moment. What made you decide to reach out that way, and were you prepared for the emotional response and how viral it became?
Well, that was the 25th anniversary, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, we were shooting a music video for the 25th anniversary, and someone said, y'all should do shout outs for social media. And I thought, okay, but little kids who watch Josh don't really know who I am, you know? I want to talk to my friend, you know? I want to talk to my homie from back in the day, you know? And I didn't write it. I mean, you guys were there. Like, I didn't.
Okay, so when he says we were there, they're like, hey, you guys can go in the green room because Steve's gonna shoot something. So Donovan and I are just like pounding snacks in the back.
Like that was our job that day.
Like that was our job.
To see how many snacks we could eat.
And then all of a sudden, there's this eruption of applause from the studio, and we're like, oh, were we?
Did something you said? What did we miss?
And then, so we had no idea what happened. We came out and like some people were crying.
Lots of
and we're
people
like,
crying.
what happened? And it wasn't until the
And
video.
people that look like they don't normally cry at
Yeah.
stuff were crying.
Well, it was like an improv, right? That's really what it was. I just wanted to take what we used to do and scale it up. Because what we used to do was a sincere, respectful conversation about stuff that mattered to us, and it was graham crackers and numbers and letters, right? But if you scale all that up, and it's still just you and me through a camera, now it's student loans and the fact that our parents are older, and it's still just real life, you know. And I just wanted to see if we could continue the conversation. And also, there was a sense around that time during the pandemic that the conversation on the internet was particularly mean, you know, and I just was like, you know, can we just have a simple, character conversation? There wasn't a whole lot of thought that went into it, and it just kind of came out. I did it twice. The first time I cried, which was a surprise to me. I was like, whoa. The second time, everybody else cried. And to the second half of your question, no one thought it was going to do anything. In fact, I believe it was a little weird, and I think that Nickelodeon was like, I don't know that we're going to put that on social media. You know, because he's talking to adults, and like, are we going to do that? And I think it was maybe even not going to be released. So we were all seriously broke out by the response to it, and I still am.
That's incredible, absolutely incredible. Donovan, Josh, can you talk about what it was like stepping into the role that Steve originated? And can you talk about approaching it while still making it real?
Oh God.
It was almost like he was looking at me the whole time. No, looking back, I was blissfully unaware of the place that Blue's Clues held in the hearts and homes of of so many people. And when I first heard about the job, I was like, I mean, like, does she play the blues? Like, what are we talking about? I was like, no, with a soul patch. I don't know, but and so like, what's funny about the whole thing is, I have a little sister who, when I finally ended up airing, she was 6 years old, so she was right in the exact right age for that. And so my experience of that, I sort of saw through her eyes. In fact, when I first aired, it was great. We had rented out the sports bar so that everybody could see a TV, because like in sports bars they have a million TVs. And so I finally like popped up onto the screen or whatever, and she was sitting right next to me, and you just saw her go from like, huh, and she just accepted it. It was great. But doing it, I wished that we had more time. Especially looking back now, that there were like more Steve and Joe episodes together. And the gift of now that the torch has been passed to Josh is that whenever we get to show up to set and we ever get to work together, it's the three of us. And it's just, that is so much fun to make. It's just, it's the most fun we're having.
The show has such a unique format, interacting with animated characters, breaking the fourth wall. It must have presented some challenges. Can you talk about what the biggest learning curve was when you guys got the role?
Biggest learning curve? I feel like maybe I psyched myself out as far as like, how do I do this? And then I remembered, because I went to theater school, I studied musical theater. When you're taking acting classes, you're in a black box. And there's zero budget, so you're imagining that you have a cup in your hand while you're trying to do the sexy scene, like. So you're really using your imagination. And, jeez. And so like I psyched myself out, but then I remember I got the chance to watch Steve and Donovan do their scene together, and they were just playing. And I remember it's like in Hook, where they're like, "Play with us, Peter. Like don't think too hard about it. There's so many wonderful people and technical directors in the room that will help you get the timing right and the blocking right." Not for Steve, because he was in the wild, wild west of children's television. But thankfully for myself, I had all of their work that they've done to inform what I did. So it was a much easier transition once I realized, oh, you know how to do this, just play.
I mean, Steve, that must have been a really unique challenge for you, being like not having anybody as a blueprint to follow.
Yeah, you guys have all seen, like the making of Star Wars and stuff, where like Ewan McGregor has 300 people dressed in green suits, and they're all running around helping create that world for him. Josh had that.
He had Ewan McGregor there with him.
Ewan McGregor was in a green suit.
But no, seriously,
Find the clues.
working on a green screen or a blue screen, in my case, it does have a lot of challenges, and it does make things it makes certain things incredibly hard, but certain things it almost makes it easier. And I think we all kind of developed our own kung fu with that. Josh was immediately good at it, which was weird to watch. He was very kind of Neo in the Matrix kind of thing. He was just very immediately, I think it's because he's a dancer, he's very immediately physically and spatially aware. But we had refined the process from when I started it to when Donovan did it to by the time Josh did it, it was pretty slick. But when I did it, we did it for zero money. Like, it's so romantic now to come back and think about it. We were like a punk rock band. Like, we were all in our 20s. We did that show on desktop Macintosh. It wasn't even in a studio. It was like in like a, when they shoot the hamburger for the Whopper commercial, it was like one of those little places. It was this little tiny room, and it was just me on a blue screen. And we didn't even have like directors. We had animation directors who were sitting there going, "Tell him to move his y-axis 16 degrees to the left." I'm like, what the hell are we doing here, And I would run around, like you would imagine there's like a camera right here, right? And I would run around and be like, okay, there's a salt shaker over here, talk to salt shaker. Oh, there's soap, talk to soap, sing song to soap. And you do the whole thing, and you'd end up here, and if you were here, it was right, and if you were here, it was wrong. In a void, right? And it was like that for every take of every shot, every day. And so at first, yeah, man, it was really challenging to create that world. But eventually, and not just for me, but for everyone on set, like it was very, very, very difficult. But I think it got easier for me. And we learned from our mistakes by the time we got to you. You had it a little technically easier, they were a little better at it. Yeah.
But I still didn't, because when you're on camera, they'd be like, camera left, camera right. And so my left and right just became completely discombobulated because right is left and left is right. Well, camera left is right?
I'm still confused.
Maybe I still.
No, I don't remember. Now I don't remember.
And so now, and then I think you could see in my performance just a little bit of hesitation. It was like not knowing where I was going to go sometimes. And so whatever you got to kind of use it. And yeah, the whole process was a fairly well-oiled machine by the time I came around. So it was basically up to me to get to speed. And thankfully, the crew was very, very hospitable and welcoming to me. So they made that great. And then Neo.
But then Josh got like breaks and like fancy chroma key equipment and people dressed up in green suits handing him little notebooks and stuff.
He had the magnet in the crayon.
Yeah.
Keeping the magnet from shooting off of the spiral of the notebook. Season
one.
one.
We didn't have a magnet.
Yeah. I feel like I needed safety goggles or a Kevlar vest, but sometimes he'd be like, notebook, right. Just like shot across the room.
Donovan, I have a burning fan question of my own for you. Steve got to play Steve. Josh got to play Josh. However, you played Joe. Why was that decision made for your name to be Joe and not like Don?
It was supposed to be so that I, walking around on the street, would have an easier time of it, so that there'd be a separation. I, outside of storybook world or outside of the blues home, get to be Donovan, and then once inside, I would be Joe. But given that the audience is largely a preschool audience, when I was there at the time, it became confusing. And so the name Joe was decided before I was ever hired. They voted around, there was a vote around, all the writers and the animators and everybody, and Joe was the name that won. So
it's a solid
voted
name,
for
I was
Joe.
going to say.
Yeah.
It's a good name. Thank you. Now, you all reunited for the first time on screen in Blues Big City Adventure. That was a huge moment for fans. What was that experience like for each of you?
Josh?
I loved it. I love these two people so very much. Whenever we get the chance to hang out, I take it. And I never thought that would be the case, especially since I watched them on television. And but for me, I don't know how it is for you all, but they're like brothers to me. So it's really, really special. To be able to do this movie was just silly. And this is typically what it is.
So, if the opportunity presented itself to do another movie or reunion project, I'm assuming, I'm gonna say when this happens, would you guys are all in?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Wait, first you have to ask Paramount to put Blue's Clues and You back on Paramount Plus, though, right?
Write some credits.
I have never enjoyed being Steve more than I do now. Like, this idea that he went off to college and became the world's crappiest detective. And I'm with the reboot with Josh's episodes, Dono and I were really pretty involved behind the scenes, writing, directing, producing, doing all that kind of stuff. And I would always write, just because I would always write an episode and I'd be like, and then just Dono shows up so that we can hang out for 3 weeks.
There's one. It was like I was like, where am I in the script? Where am I? And then at the very end, Joe pops out of a hat. was, oh, hi, you know, and then...
Because I was
and then it
directing
goes
that
away.
episode, so I was like, I can hang out with Donovan that day.
And I was like, I think I called you, I was like, wait, they let you get away with that?
Right, but the point is that would we do it again? I think in a heartbeat, man. And the other, the joy of it for Dono and I, we've talked about, is that we don't have to do anything. Like there's no pressure. We're Timon and Pumbaa. You know? Josh has to do everything hard all the
Well, look, Josh has it the easiest, not having to like learn the blue screen bio. Like he has it a little easier. So
yeah, but
it's only fair.
the pressure's all on him. We're just in the back eating cookies.
Yeah, but I feel like whenever y'all are on set, I do less work, and that's fierce. It's so easy to memorize my lines whenever you're. I barely look at the script whenever they're on set. I don't know what it is. Like, typically my morning is like prepping for the shoot day, but like when I know that you're going to be on set, we're going to be all together. I just glance at it, and then we run it, and then we do it, and it's so easy whenever you two are there, and I love it.
We worked really hard writing those scripts, and you didn't even look at them?
I didn't like hearing any of that. There's 4 drafts of that script.
It's not come easy to me.
Do you guys have a favorite Skidoo moment? Have a favorite Skidoo moment?
Ooh, outer space.
Oh, space is good.
I never got him outer space, dude.
Well, hey, maybe in that next movie.
Sitting home. I think I skidooed into a...
Space, Blue's Clues in space.
In space. You know there are people here at this convention from NASA.
Yeah.
They can make that happen.
Make it happen at this convention. If you could skidoo to any fictional world, comic book, movie, where would you go?
It's so difficult. There's so many realms.
I'm just trying to pick a portion of Middle Earth.
Yeah, I was thinking the trees.
The Fangorn Forest? No, that looks a little creepy. You know, maybe just start in the Shire. I'm a short guy. I think I'd be welcomed in the Shire.
Now my Silmarillion.
Rivendell.
No, the trees of Valinor?
Oh, well, I don't want to go to Valinor. I don't want to go there, not yet.
No, oh my gosh, someone's gonna have to help me out here. There was the waxing and the waning of the trees. When I read that part of it, it was always kind of made me cry a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty.
Middle Earth. I'd skidoo to Middle Earth, I think.
Probably scooted to Hawaii.
That's a real place. A fictional place.
It's a good choice. It's a good choice. You know what? This con is really about you guys. So we're gonna have your guys' fan questions. We're gonna start right over here. How you doing?
How are you guys?
Hey.
Hi. So first, just thank you for being our childhood, basically, teaching us moments, not just like shades of colors, but also like how to handle a younger sibling being born, how to handle an older sibling going off to college. So just thank you for that. My question is mainly for Steve. I'm gonna throw it back to the first Blue's Clues movie. We had a lovely cameo with the late great Ray Charles. How was it, if you got a chance to work with him, like how was it like interacting and working with him?
What's your name?
Ricky.
Ricky. Hi. Your drip is fire. Working with Ray Charles was absolutely, it might have been the highlight of my tenure on that show. I mean, what a living legend. He was such a badass, it was crazy. He showed up with the script printed out in Braille, memorized. He had a little chessboard with pegs, like peg pieces on it, and he had that memorized, and he was in a 3-day chess match with his assistant Vern. And Vern was like, no one lets Mr. Charles win. No one beats him. Ever. Right? And he was just this brilliant dude, and he was singing the song, music makes me move, amazing. Ray Charles is singing in the studio. And we're all going. And then he stops and he goes, wait a minute. Who's the piano man? Who's playing the piano? Who's the piano man? And the guy playing the piano on that track was Mr. Salt, right? right? The guy playing Mr. Salt, who on the show talks like this, but in real life he talks like this, right? And he's like, that's me, Mr. Charles. And he goes, I like what you did after the C7 there, blah, blah, blah. You guys mind if I play that? And he played piano on the song. He just jumped in and we recorded and played the piano. And the thing is, they set up the microphones. They're like, oh boy, a living legend is playing the piano. And he hit those keys so hard that all the needles like clipped, right? He was like punk rocking the piano. We had to start over. And he was like, no, you gotta understand, when I came up, I had to be louder than the drums. You know, it was like, oh my God, you're Ray Charles. It was a surreal, that didn't even hit me until like 3 months later. I was sitting around with the other musician, with the musician guys, and I was like, did that happen? Did we record that song with Ray Charles? I could go on and on, I'm sorry, but that was a real highlight. Thank you for that question.
Thanks for that question. It's amazing. Loki.
Hi. My name is Caitlin. I'm from Hyattsville, Maryland. I'm 29. And Steve, you were my host. So thank you so much for being such a pivotal part of my childhood. And
Thank you for finding all of those clues.
but my question is actually for Josh. So Josh, I am also Filipino, and I wanted to thank you for representing the Filipino American community. I was a 90s aughts baby, and I don't think I knew of any fictional character growing up that was Filipino that looked like me, and I remember watching Blue's Clues with my Lola, and so as an adult now, seeing that your Lola is coming, Josh's Lola is coming to the show, it warms my heart. So I wanted to know how has it been being that representation, and kind of how has it been trying to get the representation accurately into the show?
Oh my goodness. Thank you. I'm very fortunate and very blessed to have that this happened at the right time. And I was at the right time. It was the right time at the right place. We have an incredible team, and I have no idea how I came to be this person, but I know that I got here because people gave me the opportunity. I worked very hard, yes, but people gave me the opportunity. And when I got there, people supported me and made sure, Steve and Donovan, they made sure to tell me, like, don't ever feel like you have to replicate or do anything that we did or emulate any of that. Just be you and celebrate you. And I remember the day that our supervising producer came up to me and said, hey, I just wanted to let you know, you're getting a Lola this season. And I was like, oh, cool. And I was like, wait, did you say Lola? I'm like, what? I think it falls on us to lift each other up and to celebrate each other and our differences and everything that makes us so unique. And I find that the more specific we can be with our culture and the things that we grew up with, the more we realize that we're not all so different, and that everyone has a Lola, and everyone has that favorite dessert and that memory that they share. So I'm just so grateful to be here, and as long as we keep uplifting each other, I don't see why we can't continue on that path.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Freelander, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. The name's Electro Belton. I'm from Columbia, Maryland, and I've been watching Blue's Clues since I was this tall right there. My question to you is, what was it like to be a part of the Mount Rushmore of kids television back in the day?
The Mount Rushmore of
Rushmore of kids television. Yeah.
Are we?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's actually, I don't know how you guys, I'd love to hear how you guys feel about it, but that's actually a struggle for me in a way. I can't get my arms around that idea. You know, I see all you people out here, and I see the response. People tell me all the time what the show meant to them. And I know what the ratings were, and I know how many countries it was in. But I can't create that Rushmore with me on it. You know what I mean? And even right now in my mind, I can't do that. Because who's on that? Grover?
Mr. Rogers, Mr. Mo.
Mr. Rogers, in my opinion, Mr. Rogers is going to be remembered as a great teacher, not as a children's television show host. He is going, that guy should be on our money. Right? So, like, I don't know. I hear what you're saying, and there's such a precious compliment in that question. But the real is that I can't construct that Mount Rushmore in my mind with me on it. Like, I just can't.
It's the three of us and Grover.
You don't agree, Donovan. I agree.
I'd be looking the wrong way. Like the back of my head. What? Oh, we took the picture now? We took it? You carved it already?
But thank you for your question.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Hello.
Hello, my name is Callie. Steve was my host back in the day, so it's so awesome to see you. My question is for all three of you. If you each had to give a simple piece of advice to a child regarding how to handle the chaotic, like, everything right now, what would it be? Tough question, I know.
Child?
A real
Honestly,
conversation.
I have children, and my advice to them is the advice they never seem to take, which is listen. Listen to me! But I also mean that in a serious way, in that if we listen to each other, we can then learn what it is that we all need. There's, yeah. And so, I think you know, you hear the cliche that listening is a much more important skill than speaking, and it's true. Because you know, if you never ever hear what another person has to say or what another person needs, then to me, I think that ultimately leads to a very, very lonely place.
What did you say?
All of us in Grover.
If it's okay, I would just pick that one too. No, I mean, all kids' TV talks to the camera, right? That's pretty much every children's television show. That is a convention in children's television. Blue's Clues listened to the camera. That's what we did that was different, right? That's a bit of advice that Steve gave me. You know, this concept of listening deeply to someone else. And Mr. Rogers always said that listening is the greatest gift that a person can give another person. And I love that because it's easy to think of listening as receiving information, but if you're doing it right, you're giving the gift of your attention. You know, so that's a great piece of advice, to listen to people, but not just to other people. Also listen to silence. It's a huge part of Blue's Clues was silence. You know, and listening in that moment it's been in silence in my life that I found the real clues, you know, that lead to greater understanding. And that's a skill, that's a practice. You know what I mean? So I would just add to what Donald said so beautifully. Listen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
So my name is Ryan. I actually met all three of you guys so far this past weekend. And before I ask my question, I think I just need to say that, you know, I think it's amazing that multiple generations have gotten to experience what I grew up with, and it's something I hope to pass along to my children if I have children someday, you know. And so my question, this is a bit of a fun one. Okay, so the very first, you know, episode of Blue's Clues and you know, it featured all three of you. Like, now it shows how you know, Steve and Joe both grew up and you know, they got jobs. Did you have like a say in what those jobs were, or did the writers come up with it?
You got a say?
I think I made it part of the thing. I was like, I'll come back if.
And they just were like, yeah, you, retake.
Okay, maybe it's like a mini like follow-up to that. when when you filmed the episode where when Steve goes away to college, did you have that idea in mind that that's what he went to college for? Or is that something you came up with when you came back for the revival?
Oh no, we had no idea what Steve was studying in college.
Liberal arts.
It took him 12 years to find a major.
But criminal justice was always the funniest answer.
I mean, it made sense to me.
I thought you came up with the present store.
The present store?
Yeah, that wasn't your idea?
No, I came up with Every Day's a Gift.
Oh, right. We had this great idea for a long time, where it would just be like deep thoughts with Josh at the present store. And he would just say dumb stuff. Like, every day, he would write them all, and they were hilarious. Like, every day is a gift that you pay for.
I'd watch a whole show about that.
Oh, it would be great.
It would be awesome.
Yeah, basically, they wouldn't call cut, but I knew they had cut, but I would just keep going.
Very Donovan.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ariel. I'm hailing from Alexandria, Virginia, and I just want to thank you guys so much for making mine and many others' childhoods of the millennial and zillennial and now Gen Z and Alpha generations. And I remember when I was little, my parents, they got me the Blues Clues Christmas book, like to the 12 Days of Christmas, and how they got me the toy mailbox. And like, one thing that went through my head, like growing up, was, this is like the silliest question ever, but did Steve like dry clean his shirt, his iconic green shirt and khakis every day, or did he have multiple copies of that iconic green shirt and khakis?
Multiples. Like a closet full, like Batman.
I can see it, more realistic.
But then I retracted them.
It's not like an endless amount. You'd have to. This is hilarious. Hello.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course.
This is a very common con.
I was gonna say,
Hi.
is this gonna be about car insurance?
No, I'm not a gecko, I'm a chameleon, but anyway. Steve, Joe, I wanted to ask, I mean, you've seen what you were mentioning about with the reboots and things like that. I gotta ask though, it seems like when it comes to, you've heard the term creatively bankrupt, because all we just see nowadays are just, remakes or reboots or late in the game sequels or prequels. And it's like here, is it getting really irritating? Because I'm really have just like kind of been getting sick of it. I think a lot of people are. You see how many of them are. I think there's a huge fatigue of this stuff. What's your perception on this stuff? Do you think that it's getting overdone and it's like we should probably start genuinely creating new intellectual properties instead of just rehashing and reusing old ones just to get, what's your perspective?
To interrupt, I think the reboot of Blue's Clues is wonderful.
Is your question about all the remakes and reboots and the preponderance of this idea? Oh my God!
Sorry, I'm dying at this thing.
Oh my God! Do I think there are too many reboots in general and that we should be focusing on new content?
Is that something that you wish would happen, that we would see more often?
Yeah.
By the way, my mother told me this. Your wife was Luna on the big comfy couch.
Your mother lied to you.
Am I correct on that?
You are incorrect.
Oh, so she was wrong. Well,
No, but Allison Court does work with us on Blue's Clues. She directs voiceovers, and she's awesome.
Yeah,
But she's happily married.
Those two shows, Blue's Clues, Big Comfy Couch, those were like two of my biggest childhood memories as well.
It would have been a great power couple.
Yeah.
There's no question.
Yeah.
Within the world of children's television.
Yeah.
Well,
Big Comfy Couch. Joe, I thought you did a really nice. I know that it can be daring and such to step in another person's shoes, but I thought you did a nice job of filling in for Steve when he departed.
Thank you. There's no
Thank you so much for your question.
Yeah.
Hello.
Thank you.
Hi, how's it going? I'm Tim, also from Alexandria, Virginia, and Steve, you were the host of Blues Clues when I watched it. I'm 37 years old, so a little older, and thank you so much for the video you put out back then. It helped me after everything in the pandemic. 2020 was just a terrible year for me, and thank you so much for everything.
You're very welcome. My pleasure. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi. So this question is for Steve. So Steve, what was your favorite clue ever?
My favorite clue ever was a cloud. I don't know why. But I remember just doing that shot, and it was doing the thing where I don't see it. Where is it? Is it on my hair? Is it in the underwear? Where is it? Just doing the whole thing. And it's oh, Blue put a paw print on that cloud. And just something about the whimsy of that. I was this is cool. This is magical. How would she do that? Who is Blue?
Yeah.
What even is Blue?
Yeah.
I don't know why that was my favorite clue, but it always was.
No, I'm Allie, by the way.
Thanks, Allie.
Thank you for your question.
Also, I want to let you know, my favorite thing that I got to do on Blues Clues was when I got to be Little Red Riding Hood.
Oh, that was great.
You're fantastic.
Well,
Being best Joe.
unfortunately, we are out of time. But you can meet each one of them at their booth. Come and say hi, ask your questions, get a picture, get an autograph. They're amazing. Let's hear it for Steve, Donovan, and Josh.